you.
You're live on Facebook. I'm going to move your pile of dough over here. Okay. Let me know when you watch me when I'll cue you. Start
Thank
talking.
you. Well, now I gotta go tickle in the throat. Let's shut this off.
Help others. Treasure Coast Community Health is a local health care provider for everyone. No one is turned down due to economic circumstances. Your generous support can help many in need. TCCHinc.org 772-257-8224. TCCHinc.org is a not-for-profit 501c. Donations are accepted.
You can hear out of here.
Oh yeah, I can. Perfect.
I have coming up. I have I did a spot for the tech class, so listen when it comes.
Oh,
up.
sweet.
No, yours is down.
Yeah, it's dead.
I shut him down so that there's
no feedback.
I only keep his open so he can hear the open and everything else.
Good.
This way you don't get this feedback. I took a audio of a ham radio operator and put it in the background.
Oh yeah.
What's going on? Okay.
I got it. I was gonna go there today with Uncle Mike.
Okay, this is the last spot. The open is next.
Great morning, Vero Beach. This is Joe Sempre Vivo, hosting the Rhett Palmer Show. Today, live in the studio, I have Happy Pappy, Sir Lawrence Sempre Vivo.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you today? Another great day here in Vero Beach.
That always sounds so staged to you every time you say it, and I know it's not.
Well, that's the way I talk. I'm just an average man.
No, you're so animated. Every time I see you talking, you're all energetic and excited. So we just came off of a wonderful 4th of July, and sitting there and remembering what our founding fathers, I like to call it the original Brexit. The first Brexit, right? We broke away from England and Great Britain because of the king's power and control over the people in the United States, our colonies. And you go back and you think about those times of how they sacrificed away from their family. But the greatest thing of all, they were part-time politicians and legislators. They went home and they farmed. And they went home and they practiced law. Even though they were lawyers, they still had to work a farm. They survived off the farm. They ate off the farm. And they sold the balance. And then they practiced law. I mean, they were philosophers.
Yeah, but see the difference with our politicians today, they don't work. They a full-time job being a politician. Those people were in touch with their neighbors. They knew the sacrifices they were making. They experienced life. They work with the hands beside their mind.
Yeah.
And the difference is these politicians are out of touch with the American people today. The working class, they've forgotten those because they live in a capsule and they're protected.
Yeah, and I would say, that's not really applicable to every single politician because I
Majority.
I know a lot of them here, like even Congressman Posey. He's in tune with the people. I mean, he meets with the people. He talks to the people. He's a great server. I mean, you look at Senator Mayfield, same thing, and you look at Representative Aaron Grahl. All they're always amongst the people. They're always going to local events just to catch up with what's going on, and as I say, keeping it real. But but you look at our founders though; it was part time. Now these U.S. congressmen, they go to D.C. and they're there the majority of time. With a vacation here for 4 weeks. I mean, they say vacation, but they're touring their districts, meet at meetings all day long and speeches all day long. But I think to really bring it back to the people, we need to go back to what it used to be like and say, because you really don't want them to legislate. I know everybody says, oh, they're getting nothing done. Frankly, that is great news. You don't want Congress people to be passing laws because then you end up with a 2,900-page bill called the Affordable Care Act. Read it after it's passed, as Democrat Socialist Nancy Pelosi stated, who was then the Speaker of the House under the Obama administration, during the Obama administration. So, hey, let's part-time these people. And, you always told me a part-time government is kind of the best government because they're with the people more.
You're absolutely right. It really amazes me.
What's that?
A lot of these politicians go to Washington, and they're just average financials. They're not super rich. But when they retire and leave Washington, they're all multimillionaires. How does that happen? It's like a magic. You go in making $100,000, $150,000, and you come out with millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Gee, it's a little magic formula that they have.
Well, I mean, for the longest time, and I'm not 100% certain, if you're completely familiar with this law, let me know. Call in at 772-778-3500. That was like me with asking a question mark. 772-778-3500. Call in and let us know. But I know for the longest time, senators and congressmen were exempt from inside trading. So if a pharmaceutical company went to the committee for health care and gave us a speech or testified or whatever, about a groundbreaking drug or a problem they were having with the FDA on this groundbreaking drug. And say it was in phase 3 of FDA testing, the congressman could run out and literally put their life savings on the line. Or if they were in like the Justice Department committee and they were hearing like an potential FTC where about a merger and an acquisition, they could run out and buy the stock of the company being acquired, which traditionally those companies would go up in price. It doesn't happen all the time, but traditionally the acquired company spikes. So they were doing this, and that's how they turned a little bit of money into a lot of money. That was one area. And I think they just find out all the inside deals that are happening, and they just buy. But also before lobbying, they were allowed to get kickbacks and money, and that has since gone away. I think the insider trading deal, I want to say under Bush's administration, was outlawed. You could no longer buy a stock. I think that was the case. I know they presented it, but I'm not sure if it became law. I'll give you an answer after break on that because I'll look it up. Or if you know, to save us some time, and I would be very appreciative of that, call 772-778-3500. You know, we wing the show. It's a conversation show. We love Vero Beach, and we love talking about Vero Beach and national issues, whether it's politics, business, how to save you money, and tips for health, tips from the top, telling you where locally to save some money, because we certainly understand that in life it's very hard. It's very hard to earn money, very easy to spend money. It's much more easy.
Well, everything is so expensive. I myself, I go out and I look for bargains. Like this week over Winn-Dixie,
right.
you can get a whole chicken for 89 cents a pound,
right.
which is a great price. If you put a meal together with a whole chicken, a family of 4 can eat for about $12.
Yeah.
If you get the vegetables and you can buy a loaf of bread dollar at the dollar store for $1.
I gotta tell you, we went to Winn-Dixie last weekend, and because it was 11% higher, but drumsticks for 89 cents a pound. So we went there. This was the one on Oslo. What a spotless, amazingly ran store. I mean, I was really impressed with the Winn-Dixie there. I just was. You go into the Publix on 58th, it's much dirtier, much more aged compared to the Winn-Dixie on Oslo. And I would not have ever expected that. The staff is really friendly on 58th at Publix. But when I went...
Very nice staff there.
Yeah, absolutely. But when I went to the one on Oslo, I have to say I was really impressed. I expected it to be a beat-up, well-used store. And it wasn't.
I was happy when I went there. I bought ribeye steaks, $4.99 a pound.
Yeah, you reported that last
Yeah, I
week.
reported it, and it was a bargain. And I cooked them over the holiday, and they were tender. They were delicious.
Well, a little self-promotion. I mean, I sell a cow. So you could buy in quarter or half, and you'll beat that $4.99, but it'll be grass-fed, steroid-free, antibiotic-free, and it just lives off of the land just like it was intended. And you can call. What's my wife's number? Do you know her number? I don't even know it. Well, you can call 772-321-1114. That's my phone number. If you want to buy a quarter of a cow. I know it looks weird. You buy a full cow from us. We bring in other buyers for you, divide it up. And it comes out to about $4.99 a pound, about $3.99 a pound after it's butchered and in your freezer. This is Joe Semprevivo on the Rhett Palmer Show with the co-host Larry Semprevivo. We'll be right back after this break. You're on Facebook. Sure. What's up?
All right, just about the real estate, 2 payments.
2 payments. I already covered that last week. I'm not doing it.
Oh, did
again.
you? Oh, okay. I didn't. I don't remember. Okay.
30 years
Yeah,
down
I got
to.
you.
Remember?
Mhm.
You had a 30-year mortgage. and
You got it right.
Yeah.
I got another little tip about how to extend the life of your fruit.
Refrigerator and vitamin C.
No,
No,
no.
refrigerator. Brown
Wrap
bag.
them in a paper towel, put them in a plastic bag, put them in the refrigerator. And the reason why they stay longer is because the moisture
Is absorbed into the paper.
is absorbed in the paper towel, and the more water makes the fruit rot. People want to know that.
How much longer do you get on it? That's all I really care about. What's the life extension on that? I gotta look up. Can they?
I don't know how long, but it just says it extends it.
Can United States congressmen be charged with insider trading? Can United States congressmen be charged with insider trading?
Please be safe around the pool, especially this time of year. Let your friends know. Be safe around the pool. Always adult supervision. Nothing replaces adult supervision, but put the safety products in place. Okay, Molinary Pool Service, again, that phone number is 778-2633. You need an appliance fixed? Call Mike Campbell at Campbell's Appliance Repair, 562-3002. 562-3002. Campbell's Appliance Repair. Michael's been in business for years. So if you have an appliance that needs to be repaired, call 562-3002. 562-3002. Vero Beach Regional Airport presents the Escape to the Mountains. That's right. Non-stop commercial jet service has begun from Vero Beach, Florida, direct into Asheville, North Carolina on Elite Airways. Of course, they have service to Newark's Liberty International Airport, the gateway to New York City. For more information, log on to www.verobeachairport.org. It's time to escape to the mountains. Non-stop commercial jet service to Asheville, North Carolina on Elite Airways. Free parking at the Vero Beach Regional Airport. Land near the sand.
Recycling plastic bottles, jugs, and containers is a good thing, but thin plastic wraps, plastic shopping bags, and hoses should never be placed in your recycling cart. Why? When our recyclables are sent to the material recovery facility, these items get jammed up in the machinery and need to be cut loose. So instead, throw hoses and thin plastic wraps in the garbage and return plastic shopping bags to a collection bin at a local grocery store. To learn more about recycling in Indian River County, visit us at ircrecycles.com. Indian River County. Roll with us, recycle.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Dr.
Stand by in the studio. This is the last spot. The short rejoin is next.
and friends. He's exceptionally gifted and has a passion for what he does. Dr. Rich Steinfeld, orthopedic surgeon.
You are listening to the mayor of the airwaves.
Good morning, Vero Beach. This is Joe Sempre Vivo. So I promised that we would bring back after break the rule about insider trading and how a lot of congressmen, Democrat and Republican alike, go to D.C. and come out a lot wealthier than when they went in. So in 2012, under the Obama administration, because earlier I was saying it was the Bush administration, because Bush was trying to ban insider trading under his administration, but that carried forward into the into the Obama administration. I guess a law was passed in 2012 and signed. It was called the Stock Act. But the interesting thing is they're still doing it. So now they're saying there's a lack of ethics in D.C. Imagine that. Lack of ethics. People still investing. And there's some examples. And yeah, I haven't really checked for the credibility of this Politico story. But they talk about congressmen that invested in biotechnology companies while they were sitting on the Health and Human Services committee, and a whole bunch of their colleagues went out and bought the stock when they had a breakthrough breakthrough research coming out. And then they did the same thing with immunotherapeutics. That's an Australian company. It's called like Innate Immunotherapeutics. And within 2 days of the announcement from this company, this Australian company, about a technology and a breakthrough, they went out. 3 more congressmen jumped in and bought the shares of this company. And this was just all recently. I think that was 2015, 2016. That 28 House members and 6 United States senators traded more than 100 stocks within a 2-year period. And they're saying that there could be a massive conflict of interest there. So you just start looking at things like that, and you just kind of shake your head. How is that even possible? You have a Democrat, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. He's a Rhode Island Democrat who sits on the Senate Help Committee, which oversees health care. And he's a huge investor in pharmaceutical stocks. Last year they closed in on a medical research bill called the Cures Act. And he runs out and buys shares of McKesson, Gilead, and Abbott Labs 10 days before the bill was made public. So this just kind of gives you an idea. And don't get me wrong, this is combined. Both parties are guilty of this. But so the day that President Obama signed the bill into law, Democrat White House started a series of 3 sales of shares in those companies. So the minute it was passed, he started selling it. He gained. And then you got another left-leaning Republican, Kissinger, did defense contracts. And this just goes on and on and on of these people, what they're trading and the industries in which they're trading. But 3 in 10 members of Congress made a stock trade over 2 years. Well, that's not a big deal because, of course, they go in there, they're partially successful to begin with, or they are very successful before they even run for Congress. They're doctors, lawyers, businessmen, and they get into Congress. So 3 in 10 trade stocks. They made over 21,300 trades. This is just fun little statistics. The top 12 traders were responsible for 2/3 of those trades. And let me see. 31% of Republicans made a trade. 28% of Democrats made trades. So it's pretty balanced.
Well, it proves one thing. There's the law for the average American. Then there's the law for the people in Washington.
Yeah, true.
They ignore the law and get away with whatever they want to do.
Yep.
It's same way with this investigation of Hillary Clinton and her foundation and all. Where's the news reporting what's happening? We don't know because they're the elite and they're untouchable.
Yes, absolutely correct. That's and that's the thing. I mean, we are as Americans, we are not exempt from any law, and we're very vulnerable, and we're micromanaged. And then you have, people that are elected who are completely above the law. There's an interesting thing I always want to talk about this. I was over at a buddy's place with my wife and kids, and with their 3 kids for dinner. And we were slaughtering pigs before we ate. Actually, it was the next day. We were slaughtering pigs, and we started talking about, what do you do for entertainment? And he said, well, we kill our food. Besides working full time, we raise our food, kill our food. So we were eating some of the animals that they killed. But he said, I said, do you have TV? And they said, no. We got rid of Comcast cable, and or Dish, whatever it was. We cut cords. I told him, I said, are you a cord cutter? He said, no, I never had a vasectomy. We're trying for baby number 4. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, a cord cutter. That's a person that cuts the cable cord to like Comcast or any other cable company. And he goes, oh, yes, we got rid of that. And then I started interviewing people, just chatting to people, basic conversation. And I am amazed how many people do not have cable anymore. They got rid of their landline phones. Now, I knew the millennials were cutting their phone lines and just living off of a cell phone. I always thought that was, for the millennials, that was a little loony. Well, just the other day, 2 days ago, my wife and I are celebrating the day before Independence Day. We cut cable. We are now officially cord cutters. Congratulations, my sweetheart. We are cord cutters. So my wife gets on the phone and she said, I'm tired of a $200 bill for Comcast. We don't watch any real TV anyway. A lot of it's just junk. And the worst part is this. You pay this $200 a month, the best package you can get minus the sports. And you want to watch a show, say Big Bang Theory, and you just want to watch that, or, Naked and Afraid, whatever. You want to watch a show like that, and you miss the first 5 episodes of the season. They have the audacity to charge us $2.99 an episode on Comcast to watch it on demand. And then you're stuck watching the miserable commercials when you're watching it. So why am I paying? And you know what? It's their business model. I respect that. They're free to do whatever they choose. I am not forced to be their customer. So we became a cord cutter. And I'll tell you, I never thought this would happen. The weight was like lifted off of our shoulders. Because we watch Netflix and Amazon Prime anyway, when we do watch anything, and we get to watch binging, 0 commercials, much more efficient, and it costs us very little to no money, $14 a month. So anyway, this is Joe Sempre Vivo, over and out.
Clear.
Well, we destroyed them.
Well, it's ridiculous. These people are paying. I mean, I'm going to bring up some more negatives about cable because I'm an anti-cabler now. Yeah, it's I'm surprised how many people quit cable.
When you pay $200 a month, that's $50 a week.
Yeah, seriously.
And if a guy is only making a couple $100 a week, how could he afford cable?
Well, that's why they don't have it anymore.
I mean, they got it. It became ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that you can do. You could watch TV on your laptop and then shoot it to your screen on your television with this little $30 adapter, which we have. We paid the $30. You plug it in. You go from your cell phone to your screen on your TV, or you can go from your laptop to the screen on a television in the same home. And you start doing things, or you just go use your smart TV or whatever you have, or Blu-ray player, and you watch actual movies, and TVs. But it's going to be welcome, Comcast. You're going to have a major problem on your hands. They are going to be in deep, deep, deep trouble. I don't think they have an idea of how bad it's going to be.
I think when AT&T really gets all their cables in the ground and everything, then they're going to have competition.
Yeah.
So right now they're raking the people over the coals.
Yeah. And you know what? They're going to get scared when a third of their business disappears overnight. I'm going to talk about some more things about that. I mean, they own Universal Studios. It's just ridiculous.
You've got 1 minute for news, and
Oh,
you got
okay.
a couple spots.
She'll probably be back in the next week.
Whatever,
buddy. Whatever. I'm just dying of thirst. Dying of thirsty.
He's buying his own water.
No, this is Rhett.
Oh, well, I need a water.
We're coming back in 1 minute. Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Custom family dentistry and dental implants. Nobody looks forward to going to the dentist. But Dr. Plains offers
We got 3 minutes.
for dental phobia. Dr. Plains and his staff likes to help people
Go ahead and go. I'll just. Go.
Yes, I'll let you know when
Yeah.
the last spot is. The last spot is Tide's Restaurant. I'll let you know when it's starting to run and the open is next.
Thank you.
I'm just watching. I don't want to put this top up if I don't have to.
Oh, is that why you keep on checking for clouds?
Well, I see the clouds, but I'm just checking the top of the car. I see one drop on the top of
Yeah, exactly right.
Stacy, the Cake Lady. Come on down and visit us at 205 Orange Avenue in the heart of beautiful historic downtown Fort Pierce.
That's the last water
We have over
inside.
80 flavors of cupcakes available.
When's he
And
coming back?
we'd love to make a cake for you.
Tomorrow.
We are
Oh.
happy to say that we have made cakes for local celebrities such as Rhett Palmer and Burt Reynolds. We are an award-winning shop. We're nationally recognized.
Come back tomorrow.
And our phone number is 772-242-8128. 772-242-8128. 205
This message could save your life. Your headlights, are they foggy? You can get them done by some Dick, Harry, or Joe. But I tell you what, I trust the professionals to get it done professionally. That's Al Auto Restoration. 696-2820. It could mean the difference between life and death. Get your headlights fixed. Get them fixed now. Go where the mayor goes. That's to Al Auto Restoration. 696-2820. 696-2820. Hi, Dr. Tim Delaney here. Do you get headaches on the sides or back of your head that ache and throb? The majority of these headaches come from contraction of the muscles that move the jaw. This type of headache is totally treatable without medication. If you possess sore facial, neck, or upper back muscles along with headaches, give us a call at 772-713-1034.
You know, those rechargeable batteries, you could use them over and over again. You save $140 a year on batteries. I give your wife two sets of the chargers at all.
We're getting rid of everything with
I know
batteries.
now. But I gave her 2 sets and she had never used them. God knows where they're at.
Okay, this is the last spot. The open is next. I put 2 pint glasses full of water and ice in the refrigerator. Start getting cold, because these are the last 2 waters.
You got it. Thank you.
Masterful presentations of both flavor and form. A complete dining experience to meet all your expectations. The Tides Restaurant, 3103 Cardinal Drive, Vero Beach.
Stand by.
And now, the most trusted name in radio, Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves.
Great morning. We're back. Just like I think that was Poltergeist. So, in the studio, this is Joe Sempre Vivo, filling in for the mayor of the airways, Mr. Rhett Palmer. Thank you very much. And I have my happy pappy co-hosting with me. I get to look right at him today.
Good
Full
morning,
smile.
son.
Good morning. And so we were talking about cord cutting and Comcast cable, and the reason why we're talking about this because we're going to lead into some other savings for you. So if you tune in, you're going to find some ways to save money. Last week we talked about saving money on your mortgage, just simply paying. You talk to your lender, your bank, mortgage company, and you tell them, I want to pay every week instead of every month by dividing out your payments. Your payment does not increase. If your mortgage is $1,000 a month, last week we talked about paying $250 a week. That equals $1,000 a month. Some institutions don't allow you to do that. They make you do it every 2 weeks. So you pay $500 every 2 weeks. 500 times 2 is 1,000. So your mortgage is still the same. But the great news is you save plus 12 years on your mortgage. 8 to 12 years on your mortgage. So, depending on which one you go with, which is a significant savings long term.
Well, even if you saved $1,100-1,200 a year,
Yeah.
with that money you can pay for your phone or something else.
Yeah.
Utilize that money. It's found money.
It's absolutely free money. I mean, if you look at about a $300,000 property at 4%, if you paid biweekly, every 2 weeks you made a mortgage payment. So they divide your $1,432 payment into two. Then you would pay $716 every 2 weeks, and cut your annual interest payments by $1,138 a year. $1,138 a year you save. But anyway, so that's what we talked about last week. This week we're going to talk about other things, but right now, first and foremost, it's cord cutting. I did it, and I'm doing this great experiment, and I'll talk to you. If any of you have cord cutted, you still have electricity, so you're listening to the show. You can call in at 772-778-3500. I would love to hear from you. Our audience, all the listeners would love to hear from you to find out what you're experiencing. What is it like for you? Because I'm a newbie at this. It's been 2 days, and I feel relieved and refreshed. But we went from $200 a month, because we still wanted internet at the house, to $50 a month. They offered $80 a month for internet, and we kept on negotiating, my wife and I, and got it down to $50. So when they give you a counter offer, when you're going to, if you want to save money and keep your cable bill, all you do is you call in. And, okay, you'll get disconnected about 5 times. They do that intentionally. So don't get frustrated. You first do the callback feature. You want to wait on hold for 10 minutes? Or would you like us to call you back within 10 minutes? You click that feature. So then they have your number recorded. Then they'll disconnect you when they try to transfer you 5 times. They'll disconnect with you. Just be persistent. It's worth it. So say your bill's $200 and you call in and you hit the cancel feature on the phone. They'll give you a prompt. Press 1, press 2, press 3. Well, you press the cancel services. You then get elevated to a special team that tries to convince you to stay. So then, how much is it worth convincing? And you negotiate with them. You say, well, how bad do you want me as a customer? I'm paying $200 a month. Offer me the triple play for $50. They're going to laugh at you, and they'll negotiate back and forth. You may save $80 a month to do that. If you're super courageous and a little crazy, then you can cord cut and go all in. It'll cost you about $50 a month with internet of 10 megabytes per second minimum. So we've noticed zero disruption on internet watching Netflix and what's the other one? Amazon Prime. Zero interruption. The speed is just the same.
Well, right now with this economy, there's a lot of people living from paycheck to paycheck. Everything is going up higher and higher, and wages really has not caught up.
Right.
You look at it, the cost of health insurance is staggering.
Yep.
I mean, you have to. Your wife has to get a job, go to work, just to pay health insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. If you go back to the old days, we didn't have all these taxes. We didn't have all of these hidden taxes on everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can't do today without somewhere along the line, there's a tax on it.
Well, our Comcast bill had a $33 tax.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Out of $200, 33. So could imagine your bill could have went down to $167 just eliminating the taxes on bills.
Well, there's tax on gasoline. You want to go fishing, you got a license. Yet there's another. You have to pay a tax. Tax. You're taxed to death.
Yeah.
And it's just so the people really don't have the money, and they are living off of credit cards.
Yeah.
I know a fellow makes $1,100 a month on Social Security. That's all he has.
Right.
He lives on his credit card. Because with the cost of things, he can't live.
And how does he pay for, like, if you were to have cable?
Well, you
would
can't.
No,
You can't have it.
how can you have cable making $1,100 when you're paying $200, and if you ditch all the other channels, you're at $100 or $130?
Well, we used to have a TV antenna years ago.
Yeah.
And it was free.
Five channels. Yeah.
Yeah, 5, 6 channels, and it was free.
Yeah.
Today, there's nothing free.
Well, you can still do that with the rabbit ears. You can still watch. We don't do that. I mean, matter of fact, you can.
Well, I mean, I'm so out of date with that.
My buddy Mike does that. My friend Mike.
Rabbit ears?
He's got local stations on rabbit ears. When he became a cord cutter, he did it. I'm telling you, this is becoming really popular. You better get on the trend. It's well worth it. I just think of my biggest the straw that broke the camel's back was we wanted to watch. What's the show with Tim Allen that we love?
Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing, and it's a conservative show. It's a comedy, and a situational comedy, and he always talks about Trump and he always badmouths Obama. But it's funny for a change to see something that's kind of politically incorrect. So it's just a good show, and which they've recently canceled it after like 6 or 7 seasons, and people are going nuts. But we wanted to get caught up on that and Big Bang Theory because we missed the seasons and we don't watch a lot of TV. We really don't. So when we went to go look it up, they wanted to charge us on a per show basis, and that's at that point, that's the one big straw. The second one was when you do click on demand. Last year, you could fast forward through the commercials. Now you can't. So you go to watch an on-demand TV show or movie on AMC or whatever, you now are forced to watch the commercials. They're making it worse. And there's one solution to this. A solution for reduced service is reduced service. So what does that mean? That means when they reduce their service to us, we start dropping out, and AT&T is doing all this infrastructural investment. And AT&T is going to want to gain market share.
Oh yeah, now that there'll be
prices.
competition, and they'll be more concerned with the feelings and what the people want, not what just they want.
And I understand why Comcast is forcing consumers to watch the commercials, mostly boring, but to watch the commercials. It's because that's how they pay for their programs, is through advertisers. And advertisers were complaining, well, you're fast forwarding.
Well, Joe, I get to the point, I keep running around changing channels because there's too many messages and there's too many loose morals on TV anymore.
Yeah, that's
I feel
reason.
uncomfortable watching TV because of the language sometimes, and some of the scenes are just a little too much for me. I'm just not used to it.
It's like old HBO scenes are now on cable. Some of the words they use. That's why we were very selectful of what we watch. But that's a scoop on that. Now, another real quick thing. If you through the Partnership for Prescription Assistance, you go to pparx.org, and if you're qualified, you can get 120 days supply of like diabetes medicine. You can save $2,096 a year. You can save money on your prescriptions. You can go to pparx.org. We're going to give you some really great savings tips today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. After this break, you will save money. Yeah, I just did this one. Here you go. You pick 2.
Talk to the Facebook people, because if you go on your phone to Rhett Palmer's Facebook page, you'll see this, and some people are commenting.
Oh, I can't see it. I don't have Facebook.
You don't have Facebook?
No.
Can't get to Facebook?
I'm old school.
Well, you just download the app.
So you are commenting on it?
Yeah, they're commenting on it.
Uh-oh, I hate to see their comments.
Well, that's good.
They're beating up on me.
No,
I don't blame them.
You had one of them said good point on one of your. I just checked to see if it's on. I'll see if I can get some comments for it.
Hey, how do I see that on Facebook? I don't. The screen's black.
Tap the screen.
Oh.
Just
Okay.
tap the screen, it'll come back on. It's a touch screen.
How about that? There it
There it
is.
is. All right.
How about that?
Boop boop boop. It's kind of funny. Hat is my number. That is my number. Don't give your number. Give my number. That's Mem. Mem saying, "Give my number for beef." I love you, babe. If you were, she's not watching it on Facebook. Let me see.
That's right. Non-stop commercial jet service has begun from Vero Beach, Florida, direct into Asheville, North Carolina. On
Here, I just walked in. See?
Oh yeah, there you are.
Liberty International Airport,
Uh,
New York City. For more information, log on to
do you have a Facebook page?
You search. You search for Rhett Palmer.
Oh, I got a Facebook.
non-stop commercial jet service to
I
Asheville
think these new phones come with. Oh gosh, you gotta log in. I
at the Vero
created a
Beach
Facebook
Regional
account.
Airport. Land near the sand.
As a female, when I need my auto repair, I want someone I can trust to repair my vehicle. I trust Don's Import Auto Services and Sales. Free pickup and delivery, or they have loaner vehicles while yours is being serviced. I especially like their comfortable waiting area and
Do you have Facebook on your phone?
I think you do.
How do you find it?
You can just talk to your phone and say Rhett Palmer Facebook, and probably it'll pull up.
Rhett Palmer Facebook.
service and repairs. Don's Import Auto Service is on 43rd and Vero. Call 569-4714. Again, 569-4714.
I don't see any comments.
was diagnosed with skin cancer, I wouldn't care how nice the building looked or what was being said on the radio. I'd look for the best treatment options with the highest cure rates, and I'd find qualified physicians who could provide those treatments. I'm Dr. Tim.
I have a question for you, Mr. B. Is,
Go ahead.
is there a way to find the comments on this screen?
And your loved ones.
No kidding.
That's what it's sending.
Based on our image alone.
Specializing in the treatment of skin cancer. Board-certified dermatologists, Treasure Coast Dermatology.
I'm on Rhett's Facebook page.
I'm on his Facebook. Yeah, but
I don't see any comments.
Okay, hold on. I'll come in and get, you go. This is the last spot, and then you go to rejoin. Put your phone at the end of the table, and I'll get it set up for you.
Touch of Class
Thank
Dry
you.
Cleaners. If you want to look like you have a touch of class, try Touch of Class Dry Cleaners. It is the official
Stand by.
of the mayor of the airways.
I want to give him the tip about the fruit and about the batteries.
Yeah. Great morning, Vero Beach. I'm supposed to be checking Facebook and seeing the comments made. Mr. B so politely told me on break. I don't have a Facebook page, so we'll be checking. We'll find out a way so we can make a comment back to you. But thanks to all of you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, call us at 772-778-3500. So we're doing tips from the top and doing some savings out of ARP. So go ahead.
You know,
share some
I just
savings.
want to just mention to some of our viewers, you know, a lot of times we buy fruit, we put it in the refrigerator, and before you know it, they start to get a little rotten or whatever. I hate to use that word. But anyway, we lose the fruit too quickly. So here's a little tip how to save the fruit to last a lot longer. You take a piece of Bounty and wrap it up, the fruit, and put it in a plastic bag, put it in the refrigerator. Now, because of that, it absorbs the moisture and water, which makes fruit rot. So now it'll last 3 times the length that it normally would in the refrigerator. So you'll stop wasting money on fruit, especially peaches and fruit like that goes bad very quickly. So I would do that. Use that little tip. It works
like that.
well.
So that's all you have to do. Just
That's
put it
all
in
you
there.
have to do.
Okay.
And, you know, what aggravated me, I spent $4 for white peaches the other day. I put them in the refrigerator. I didn't wrap them because I just went shopping, threw them in quickly. Well, I went to pick out one this morning. It was all soft, and I said, "Son of a gun! If I would have wrapped that, it would have been good for a week."
And you know
weeks.
what's funny? The brown paper bag is kind of the common denominator because in the brown paper bag, when we want things to ripen fast, we don't put the paper towel, we don't put it in the fridge. We just get the fruit, put it in the brown. Like I just picked my mangoes the other day. They're hard as a rock, green. I put them in the brown paper bag, close it up, put it on the counter, and voila, the next day they were red and ready to eat.
Wow.
Well, 2 of them of the 6 were. But anyway, so
Well, also for people out there who are listening who have children, you know, you're constantly going out, running out and buying batteries.
ain't that the truth?
Constantly, 50 cents a piece, you know, for all the toys. Now, if you had a little battery charger, you can put your batteries in and you can charge it for hundreds of times, and you save $140 a year in batteries. So that's a nice little tip. With the economy and with people who really don't have a lot of money today, and you know those kids want to play with those toys, that's a little tip. And it'll cost you about $30 for a charger with the batteries.
Hey, you know what? Okay, so you just reminded me of our conversation yesterday
Oh my goodness.
about income.
Yes.
I got okay. So you said you saw something in the paper about income.
Yeah.
Go ahead, explain it.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what they said in the newspaper says people making $100,000 are living very comfortably. Well, I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning and said that statement just bothered me, really, really bothered me. So I sat down with a paper and pencil. I said, well, first of all, say they take 15% out, it leaves you with $85,000.
Wait, what's the 15% for?
IRS. All right.
Well, that's not okay.
Withholding.
It's going to be a lot more than that.
Well, I'm just averaging it out.
Sure.
Say they took 15% for that,
Sure.
7% for Social Security.
Right.
So boom, off the top, there's 22% off of your $100,000. Now you got $78,000 left. You're not done yet, because a household, I know a person now who's paying $35,000 a year for health insurance for his wife and his children.
Mm-hmm.
$35,000. Take that off of the $78,000.
right.
So now
So you got 43,000.
Right. That's all you have left. But you're not done.
Right.
You have property taxes.
Yeah.
You have flood insurance.
So take 2,000 off of property taxes. Just say that's 41,000.
That-
Flood insurance 400. That's 40,600.
car insurance.
Okay. So call it 1,500. You're at 39,000.
30. Now you're down to 39,000. You're still not done. You
What
have
about your
done-
mortgage?
You have a mortgage payment.
So let's say $1,000 for mortgage.
Well, more. It's
So
usually
$12,000 a year. Let's just go
all
conservative.
right. Take 12.
So what was I at? 39. So we're at 27,000.
So now you have 27,000. You're almost at the poverty line, but you're still not done yet.
Okay.
You have to pay when you go to doctor. You got to pay copay. You got to pay the dentist for the children. You have to buy clothes. There we go. You got to buy supplies for the school. You're never done. Now you're just at the poverty level. What
Well,
do you
yeah,
do?
so
How about
you're-
gasoline?
So wait,
How
wait,
about food?
Okay, so at 29,000, we left off at 29,000.
All right.
What is what would you say is next? Because I want to minus this out and see
All
where
right.
we end up.
You have to buy food.
Okay.
Okay. So forget about going out to restaurant.
Okay, so no restaurant.
All right.
What
You
family?
figure you spend $250 a week or $200 a week on food.
So okay, $1,000 a month. That's 12,000. We're at 29. Now we're at 17.
Now you have $17,000, and we're not figuring gasoline for your car.
Okay, so let's say $100, 1,200, 17. That's 15,800. Okay, that's assuming $100 a month at $1,200 a year.
Would you believe it? You're at poverty level.
Well, you've been saying that. We've been at poverty for a while. So let's keep on going. Let's go deeper into poverty. So we're at 15,800 a year net, which would not be, I mean.
Well, then don't figure
you're
out
not-
how about your electric bill.
Okay, so what do you think? 1,800 a year?
Yeah, at least.
Okay, we're at 14,000 left.
All right,
in the
and
bank.
how about your gas? If
We
you
already
have
did gas.
How about telephone?
No telephone, but cell phone.
Cell phone?
So what do you think? $600 a year, $50 a month for one cell phone, $600 a year. I forgot where I was at, but I think 14.
You were at 14.
Okay, 14. So 13. What was it? 600. So 13.4. Okay, go on. 13.4.
Well, you don't have to go all the way down to the
I do.
zero.
I want to go to zero.
Sorry, well,
I want to just be realistic about it. So we're at 13,400. We paid property taxes. We paid insurance. We did not pay auto insurance.
Auto insurance is another one.
Okay,
You
so-
have 2 cars.
Yeah, so we're at say 1,500. What do you say? 1,400 a year. So we're at $12,000 now. We're down to 12. Okay, $12,000 at $100,000 a year. Now, this is with the assumption, because this was a national story, that you you were very generous and sweet and loving to the IRS of only 15,000. You only did a 15%
Only
income
15%
bracket.
I did.
So imagine, realistically, let's just say you're in a 25% bracket. A 25% bracket at 15 you did
Leaves you
$15,000.
$5,000.
You're left down to $2,000.
$2,000.
2,000. So a 25% bracket, based on everything that and you got to. Well, anyway, that's assuming no retirement. Okay, no 401k, no putting 6% of your money away. That'd be $6,000. So you're at $2,000.
How about car payments?
Now wait, we didn't take out car. Yeah, let's do a car payment.
Car payments.
I like
You have
that.
2 cars.
So let's just say generously and loving and sweet, $200 a month.
For each car.
Yeah, but let's just say you only have one lease.
Oh, 1 car.
Okay, or one car payment. $2,400. You are now officially negative $600. Look at the clock. We're out of time. Asta.
You're gone. They cut you. Gotta pay attention to that clock on the news.
Alrighty then. So
Don't forget gas for the 2 cars.
yeah, we did the gas. We did $100 a month, but we're at negative $600 so far.
All right, so how could the government say, oh my goodness, you're living comfortably?
Seriously.
How do they survive? They survive by using that credit card.
Debt
I
finance.
ride on a budget every month, mid-month and end of month. That's how I've done that for years.
Well, we used to work.
But even with a budget, okay, let's get into that. Even with a budget, how do you survive with it? Do you have credit cards? Do you
Yeah.
use credit cards? Do you have
Yeah.
credit card debt?
Nope, because I pay it off. When I charge something like gas, I have cash in an envelope that I put the cash to the
So that's
credit
the
card
key.
receipt. And when it comes time to pay the credit card off, I got $2,000 every month in credit card. I probably got about, sometimes like if it's a dental appointment, I'll take it out of my retirement check or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it's cash attached to all the receipts. So that's what you got to do it. Otherwise, you'll be $14,000 in a hole before no time.
That's right.
With the
That's
credit card.
exactly right.
Yep.
And this is what happens when you, and it just
We're
irritates
down to
me.
negative $600 on $100,000 income.
And that's
Yes.
not without the kids.
Yeah.
Like you just sent a kid to the dentist, $3,000.
Yeah.
A little kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is with zero surprises in life.
Right.
right. And
This
there's-
is not. This is also keep in mind.
Remember,
This is
you're
not.
still on you're still
Yeah,
on
that's fine.
Facebook, so.
This is not including the insurance copays.
Speaking about Facebook, do you have a Facebook account?
No, I do not.
Okay, let me set you up. That's what I
Well,
wanted to
I
do
think
for you.
I do. My wife does. Let
I
me
don't.
get her.
I don't have
You
one.
gotta click on the Facebook icon.
Yes, and then log in. But I have to
Right,
ask my
right.
wife her.
Log
No,
in.
see,
login info.
I don't have one.
You don't have a Facebook page. Don't even get one
Why?
because
Why not? I look at it.
no,
Oh, no?
no.
All right.
Just hold off.
Let me show me where it is anyway.
Well, you gotta put it on there. Apps. There's Facebook.
Oh, just like that.
And now you gotta
Then we got to give them the information.
you gotta create a new Facebook account. So
Oh,
you gotta,
I see.
there's your phone number, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then you gotta get a password. So
No, it's okay.
Yeah, don't.
He don't want me to have it.
You can get a Twitter
No,
account.
it
for your
just
Facebook.
I'm concerned with the average person today is struggling,
Yeah.
and nobody seems to know it.
okay.
Now I want to do a comparison to an illegal. what they get.
Well, let's continue this. We're not done yet. We're at negative $600. So I think, I mean, I would talk about deductibles for insurance because you have to have the deductible. You're going to use the deductible, so
Yeah.
you gotta
Well,
pay that out of pocket.
This is what I did when I got to that point. I was done.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Well, you could finish it up.
We didn't do a cable bill,
Yeah,
deductible
no
and,
cable bill.
and cable bill, and so let's just and you know we didn't actually do the clothing. Mem's showing me the kids working on the farm.
I want to show now. This is a hard-working, middle-class American.
Yeah.
Now let's take an illegal into this country.
Okay.
How they're doing.
Absolutely right. Okay.
And this is what the American people should know. We're struggling, and they're living fat off the hog.
Yeah.
And the Democrats want to bring more.
Yeah. It's really disturbing when you start to break it down, and you know there's individuals out there that are living. You know, you're on Facebook, but that's the big issue, and that's why we used only $1,000. I think we did $1,000 mortgage.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they have 2 cars, Joe. They're not.
well, I know that, but I mean, we just did a very conservative run.
Right.
2 cars, $200. 1 car, $200. The other one they own, you know. But I mean, most of the people I know, I only know 1 or 2 that are paying less than $1,000 a month. Most are at $1,400 to $2,200 a month in their mortgage payments.
Nobody pays.
So I mean, you're talking $100,000 income. You're negative $15,000-$20,000 every year.
Every year you'll go into a hole. But then you see these people coming. Oh, God forbid you had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
We didn't even add health insurance in there. We did.
We did.
Oh.
You did the $3,500 a month.
Oh.
Your taxes.
Family of 4, yeah.
We adjusted your taxes because I think they were a little. I mean,
low.
yeah, maybe realized they would be 15%, but the realistic number would never be the gross that's withheld from their check.
Now that's a person making $100,000. How about the poor guys making $50,000?
Yeah. Well, this is the assumption of husband and wife $50,000 each.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because that's what
the
you,
same thing.
that's what you
Yeah.
said the article was. It was
Yeah.
$100,000, and what was it in the TC Palm? What paper did you see? What did you
Well,
say?
it was in the local paper.
Yeah, what is that? What is it called? The TC Palm, the local paper. Oh yeah, it's the TC Palm. Yeah, Palm.
Give us a call, 778-2633, Molinary Pools. We want to help you out. Please be safe around the pool, especially this time of year. Let your friends know.
Press journal.
Yeah.
Always adult supervision. Nothing replaces adult supervision, but put the safety products in place. Okay, Molinary Pool Service, again, that phone number is 778-2633.
This is Tim Womack, one of the pastors at First Presbyterian Church of Vero Beach. We would welcome you if you're looking for a church home. We have great music, we have a great congregation, lots of wonderful men and women. We are located at The Point, which is at the corner of the Royal Palms and Indian River Boulevard. We're a church large enough to meet your needs, but small enough to need each one of you.
The tide is in. Whether it be a special event, romantic dinner, or a great night out, it is sure to be a memorable event at the Tides Restaurant. Chef Kelleher's latest innovations, always an award-winning culinary experience. You'll taste the freshest seafood, locally grown, organically raised vegetables, and the finest meats to create masterful presentations of both flavor and form. A complete dining experience to meet all your expectations. The Tides Restaurant, 3103 Cardinal Drive, Vero Beach.
Here we go, we're in the open. Stand by.
That's not even what sending the kids to college.
Now, the most trusted name in radio, Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves.
Great morning, Vero Beach. We're back. This is Joe Sempre Vivo, along with Happy Pappy, Lawrence Sempre Vivo, my dad.
Good morning, Joseph.
Co-hosting. And he brought up a point about, he read in an article, the local newspaper, if you're making $100,000 a year,
You're living very comfortable.
you're living very comfortably. And there's issues with this with geography. $100,000 a year in New York City, you're broke. San Francisco broke. Miami broke. And LA broke. But we're driving down these numbers. We're drilling down on it. Breaking down all the different expenditures. And we went from $100,000. We minus insurance, food, some utilities. We didn't do water or
Garbage collection.
garbage or home gas. We did auto gas, all that. Auto insurance, home insurance, property taxes, mortgage. We did not do student loans. We did not do deductibles for health insurance, but we did do the premiums for health insurance, etc. We're down from $100,000 with the assumption of a 25% tax bracket. We're down to a negative $600 a year. If a husband makes $50,000, if a wife makes $50,000, that's $100,000 a year.
Now, I'd like to do a comparison with an illegal coming into the United States.
Well, you're not done on the $100,000 yet.
Oh no, I know I'm not done, but
what about deductibles of when you hit your deductible $1,000 now with your two kids, say two kids and husband and wife? Now you're at $1,600 negative, and then.
Well, you can't even if you try to send your kids to college, you don't have any money. So you get a second mortgage on the house to send the kids to college because they don't go free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's why I want to do a comparison with an illegal.
Sure. What about a dentist bill? Boom. You're broke. Okay. So you're negative $1,600 on $100,000. That's not, by the way, folks, we did not do a cable bill of $200 a month. If we did that, you're now officially making $100,000 a year. Now officially negative $4,000 a year. $2,000 for your wife, $2,000 for you. That's without any. I did not do clothing, even though you brought up clothing earlier. Negative $4,000. You haven't put your kids through school. You haven't saved any money. You have. That's no dental bills. None of that.
They're living off of credit cards.
Yep, credit card debt accumulation.
Credit card. That's why we're at the highest rate of people using credit cards in the nation right now. People are living. So they have a big credit card bill and they pay little payments with 30% interest.
To your point, the average American pays $2,400 a year in interest in credit card debt, reinforcing your point about the $100,000 and how they're living on credit card debt. All right, go ahead. Take me to the. You go to wallethub.com and get information on that. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is now we get an illegal comes into this country. They have a child here. Boom. They get $500 to $700 per child in cash sent to them.
God.
They get free hospitalization, free college education, because they're pushed up in front of the line. We can't even ask them if they're illegal. We can't.
Nope.
It's not politically correct. So now they get $59,000 in benefits that the average American don't get, and they don't have to work.
Yep.
So this is a wonderful system. So you come to America, you let the $100,000 family that's working support you, and you don't have to do nothing. So what do you do in New Mexico? You go out and you pick chili for $100 a day cash. Now you don't give any of that money to IRS. You don't pay anything for that.
So that would be what, $20,800 a year. $100 a day times 5 days would be. Oh no, would you say $100 a day? I was
$100 a day.
$80 a day would be $20,800. Okay, so There you go, Henry,
So
sorry.
that goes on top to $59,000 a year in benefits. So why should the American people
Right.
pay for 11 million that we know of illegals in this country who are getting all the benefits that you are killing yourself working and eating hand to mouth so they can live the fat life? I'm not against illegals. I'm against people who are on the take from the government.
You are against illegals. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean to say I'm not hating illegals. I just feel that they're taking advantage of the poor, hard-working
Oh, yeah.
American people who are out there living, scrimping, getting by when they don't have to worry about anything. We go to a hospital. I went to the hospital. My bill was $5,000 for an overnight stay. An illegal goes to the hospital, pays nothing.
Yeah.
Why should I have to pay for that illegal? Our hospital is in trouble.
Well, you know the worst part of that? You bring it up perfectly. You go to the hospital, you get a $5,000 bill. So by an illegal being there, they pay nothing. But the worst part is we're also all paying, not only an increased hospital bill because we're subsidizing the illegal, we're also increased tax bill on your property taxes because we live in a community with a failing hospital.
That's right.
A financially failing hospital.
Financially.
Yep. And so we're actually double paying.
But you know, we all say, we got an illegal problem. We don't have an illegal problem, and we can fix it.
We don't have an illegal problem?
There's a remedy to make it where we don't have. If you give no benefits to any illegal that comes to this country, you don't get food stamps. You don't get $500 to $700 per child. You don't get housing.
Right.
You don't get a free cell phone. You don't get free medical. Where are you going to go? You're going to go back where you came from. We are so liberal that we are making the American people, putting American people in poverty in order to be so generous to illegals in this country. And I blame the Democrats. The Democrats are out there wanting more illegals to come in. Donald Trump is trying to secure our border and stop the terrorists from coming into our country. And the Democrats, no. These Democrat federal judges are so liberal that they want to jeopardize the life and safety of our children and our loved ones in order to be politically correct, just to stop a man who all he wants to do is protect us and protect the police. We have no respect for our police force. Poor woman cop was sitting in her chair in a car and gets shot in the head for no apparent reason.
Right.
Other than she's a policeman trying to protect us.
That poor
We
family.
have to change the way we think. We got to start saying, forget being politically correct. Call it like it is. It's like Texas. They have thousands and thousands of crimes. There's a bill now going into the Senate where if you are a criminal and you're an illegal, we want to get you out of the country. But the Democrats said no. They don't want to pass the Katie bill. They don't want to pass it because we don't want. There's a part of it that won't fund sanctuary cities. So what do we want to do? We want to just let this bill die. We have to pass this bill. We have to get the criminals, convicted criminals, out of the United States. Democrats, stop being politically correct. Stop worrying about the American people. The only
Stop
way
worrying
you
about the American people.
start worrying about the
sorry,
American
my
people.
hearing is going.
Start worrying about the American people.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't want to do it, vote you out of office.
Yeah.
Get you out of here.
No, I think that's a really great. They're really great points that you bring up. I mean, you look at how much money that an illegal spends in this country. They work under the table, don't contribute to taxes, while we're working hard and we're contributing. And at the same time, they get all the benefits, and it's our fault. It's nobody's fault but our own, because if we spoke loud enough at the polls, that those individuals that supported illegals in sanctuary cities wouldn't be in office. Now, the counter argument to that is they're mostly in metropolitan cities with high Democrat vote counts, therefore electing Democrats to United States Congress. And so you really can't do anything. But where we are at fault is with United States senators. You oust people like Nelson and you replace them, and that's what you do. This is Joe Sempre Vivo on the Rhett Palmer Show with my happy pappy, Lauren Sempre Vivo. We're going to come back after this break. I'll respond to some of your Facebook questions. I've been logging in. See you in a minute. Hey, Mr. Beesky, I logged in.
Do you have questions?
No, I don't know. But he wanted me to respond.
So you logged in.
That's the Rhett Palmer. I searched for Rhett Palmer.
Okay. You just got to search for Rhett Palmer.
I did.
Not Mayor of the Airways. Just Rhett Palmer. Rhett Palmer.
Just plain Rhett Palmer.
Just plain Rhett Palmer.
Gotcha.
Load up.
It's 2:30 in the morning. Someone is trying to break in, but your security system from Complete Electric and Alarm is working.
And here it is right here.
Okay.
Should have I gone?
So you click on Rhett.
You click on it. And somebody said excellent point, Ryan Bass. So.
Oh yeah. Ryan and I just texted him. That was a waste. Went all the way on there for one comment. I'm going to take Facebook off my phone.
Well, it's good if you're
You
on.
never know.
I hate Facebook.
Okay.
They're like not kryptonite, but
From Vero Beach, Florida, direct into Asheville, North Carolina on the Airways. Of course, they have service to Newark's Liberty International Airport, New York City. For more information, log on to www.verobeachairport.org.
The people that get into handouts are the ones that are voting Democrat.
Commercial jet service to Asheville, North Carolina on Elite Airways. Free parking at the Vero Beach.
it is true.
Land near the sand.
This is John Oliver of Oliver's Plumbing. I want to thank you for making our plumbing business so successful. We've had to add multiple trucks to serve you. Call us at 564-0011. Oliver's Plumbing, where your plumbing gets Oliver attention. For fast service, call 564-0011. Again, thank you.
After a surgery, injury, or hospital stay, your doctor may recommend home health care services to help you recover in the comfort and safety of your home. The Visiting Nurse Association's highly skilled nurses, therapists, and aides have been trusted to care for this community for over 40 years. The VNA is committed to providing patient-focused care so you can return to doing the things that
Oh, I see you on there.
When your doctor recommends home health care, you have a choice. Choose the VNA.
The screen's off over there again.
Yeah.
That's something that keeps going off. So you could tell people watch me on Facebook.
Okay, stand by. This is the last ad, and it's a short one, and then your rejoin is next.
That's right. Take care of yourself, and your skin will take care of you.
You are listening to the Mayor of the Airwaves.
Great morning, Vero Beach. This is Joe Sempre Vivo. Filling in for the Mayor of the Airwaves. I almost said Mayor of the Airwaves. I've been looking at Rhett's Facebook page. I logged in through either my political one or my wife's. I think it was my wife's. I logged in through her Facebook page, and anyway, I'm just not a fan of Facebook. I just get these chills because it's a time sucker. I've witnessed people my whole life at work on Facebook, and it just irritates me so much because they're so unproductive. Got to the point where I said you have to delete Facebook from your computers because you're spending your day 3, 4, 5 hours a day on Facebook at work when you're supposed to be performing, and that's no different than theft because you're getting paid to be on social media. So I just have this thing. Social media is truly a production killer. But on the other hand, it is efficient to keep up with all your friends around the country, and I get that. So I guess I'm not an early adapter. I think I'm a late bloomer in technology terms. But anyway, there was, when we're talking credit cards and the $2,400 people pay in interest rate, in interest per year. One of the things you can do in that to save that $2,400 a year, because we want to talk about savings for you, knowing that on this $100,000 a year, 2 people making $50,000 plus with 2 children, you're negative $4,000 a year, and we haven't even drilled that down. We can probably go another 10 to 20 grand negative, but you got to save as much as you can. So some of the things to save. How much was it on batteries if you did recharge?
$140 a year.
$140 in batteries. If you cut back on your anti-gun Starbucks place, then you could save. My wife quit Starbucks when they went anti-gun. That was 2 years ago. And I think we calculated $1,900 a year in her foo-foo drink. She was drinking one of those really sweet, disgusting drinks that actually she loves them, so they weren't disgusting. She loves them.
Disgusting to you, that's
because I can't drink them, so they're all foo-fooey and sweet. But they were like milkshakes, right? So she would go there. I said, "That's not a caffeinated drink. Drink this cappuccino." And then her hair would stand up and on the back of her neck because it was so bitter. But that was like $4, $5 for me. I've now bought a machine. It costs us 68 cents at home to drink this cappuccino, and it is awesome. Through it's not the Netpresso. It's a $99 machine, and you could buy it anywhere. You buy it on Amazon or whatever. But it costs 68 cents a cappuccino versus $5 what we were paying before. But you save. That's money you save. If you transfer your credit card debt though, go to Wallet Hub. And you'll look at all the different options. You transfer to a 0% interest credit card. And when you transfer your balance, they give you this promotion for 0 interest. By doing that and continuously transferring and then chisel away at the debt, so don't spend on your credit card anymore, this will enable you to save $2,400 a year. So now we've realized you. And of course, there's many assumptions with that, but $2,400 there, $140 on batteries. You can apply for free meds, and at pparx.org, they give you the ability to do that. You can do your payments, like we talked about on your mortgage, save you another $1,138. On a $300,000 mortgage a year. You can, so if you're a senior, you can take a driving class. Find out through the DMV when a safety driving course is available. And you can save an additional about up to $675 a year on your car insurance. So these are some of the tricks of the trade to help you save a little money here. Now, if you had 2 cars, like we were talking about a year, you sell one of them. I know it's going to be a pain. It's going to be inconvenient. But if you get rid of one, hold on, folks. Yeah, exactly right. You're going to save about $4,118 a year by getting rid of your second car. I'm seriously considering. I have some cars. Really considering getting rid of the 2 or 3 of the vehicles, and keep the minivan. All my cars are most of my cars are really old, Like one car is 12 years old, another car is 7 years old, another. So I try to keep the vehicles. Another one's 16 years old. I try to keep the vehicles as old as I possibly can and beat them up. But I would continuously do that and maybe go to one vehicle. I do know my insurance is astronomical. No tickets in 10 plus years, and my insurance per vehicle is $1,500 for a minivan, a town and country minivan. I pay $1,500 a year on that. What a joke! That's just a ripoff.
But what are you going to do? You can't drive a car without insurance.
I know. No, I know.
It's too dangerous.
It's ridiculous,
anyway.
though. But anyway, if you want to provide to us, for your fellow listeners, any savings that you experience a year, let us know. Share with us. 772-778-3500. 772-778-3500. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to share with one another how we could save money. Because when you know you're doing it with other people, you don't feel so uncomfortable. Because a lot of people think you're just frugal. I think it's very important to be frugal, but I think when you're sharing with others, you kind of have that support system, and it makes it more enjoyable. Because then you can talk to one another about.
Well, you know what, Joe? I'm not ashamed to go to the dollar store.
Heck no.
I know you get the same brand products for more than half the price.
Yeah.
You know, so it's well worth it.
Yeah.
And my dollars go further.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a great store.
Oh yeah. You know, like when we travel, like when we went to Italy together a year ago, I bought each of our plane tickets individually rather than buying them in a bulk group. And now, granted, some of them I use with miles, but I bought them individually. And by doing that, you could save about $1,000 buying individual tickets. This is Joe Semprevivo on the Rhett Palmer Show with my co-host Larry Semprevivo. We'll be right back with some saving tips after this break. Okay.
When do we get along?
Clear. News is on.
What's that? Yes. What, Daddy?
When do you get a long break?
This is 7 minutes.
Oh, I want to get up and walk.
You should. Your back's got to be killing you.
Yeah. Oh. Good God.
sponsored by Dr. Alex Plains with custom family dentistry and dental implants. Nobody looks forward to going to the dentist, but Dr. Plains offers conscious sedation to help with dental phobia. Dr. Plain and his staff likes to help people with a friendly atmosphere and a stress-free visit. His office is located just south of the Village Beach Market, 4755 North A1A, or his website, plainsdentalarts.com, or just give him a call, 231-6004. That's 231-6004. So to help with your next dental need, from a basic cleaning to dental implants, call Dr. Plain and his friendly staff, offering conscious sedation to overcome dental phobia. That's Dr. Alex Plains, 231-6004.
Hey folks, you heard me talk about Al's Auto Restoration, you know, the ones that come to your house and do an immaculate service and detailing your car. Well, actually, their number one business is a restoration of leather. So if you need restoration of leather in your vehicle, these are the guys to call. Okay, so it's Al's Auto Restoration, two brothers who I admire greatly, 772-696-2820, 696-2820, 696-2820.
Hi, this is Stacy. I'm the cake lady. Come on down and visit us at 205 Orange Avenue in the heart of beautiful historic downtown Fort Pierce. We have over 80 flavors of cupcakes available, and we'd love to make a cake for you. We are happy to say that we have made cakes for local celebrities such as Rhett Palmer and Burt Reynolds. We are an award-winning shop. We're nationally recognized, and our phone number is 772-242-8128. 772-242-8128, 205 Orange Avenue.
Indian River Walk-In Clinic Miracle Mile has been
This is the last spot. Stand by in the studio. Open is next.
I love endorsing them because you'll get the right care right now. Recently had a family member came to town, a young grandson. Turned out he had strep throat. We found out right away because we sent him to Indian River Walk-In Clinic at Miracle Mile, and everything was corrected and came out well. He's doing fine now, I'm happy to say. Indian River Walk-In Clinic, the right care right now, Miracle Mile.
And now, the most trusted name in radio, Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves.
Great morning, Vero Beach. This is Joe Sempre Vivo filling in for the mayor of the airways, Mr. Rhett Palmer. And live in studio today, we have Happy Pappy, the man of the hour, in the studio. And he's out on his cell phone walking around talking. And he's not paying attention to the time in the studio, so he's having more fun outside. You know what he did? I bet you anything. I know what he did. Here he comes. He called my mom. And I bet you he was having a little conversation with my mom, flirting. So, where were you, young man?
I cannot say where I was. I was outside.
Are you on the phone?
Well, no. I was just warming up.
Oh, okay. So I thought you were on the phone.
My back was hurting.
Oh, okay.
So I had to get up and walk around a little bit.
Yeah, you disappeared for a while. I was exploring the internet, but anyway. So this, I mean, you want to get back to some saving stuff? You want to talk about saving the listeners more money? Why don't you, anybody call in, 772-778-3500, 772-778-3500. We would love to hear from you. You can make some comments on Facebook. And how about this? You can make comments on Facebook, and Mr. B will read your comments on air. How does that sound, Mr. B? I caught him with food in his mouth. I love it.
You know, speaking about food, do you know we feed about 500 people every day in Vero Beach?
What do you mean, like homeless people?
Yeah.
No
5
kidding.
People come to eat at some of our charity groups here
Yeah.
are feeding 500 people a day. I'm amazed that there's so many people that are in need, and it's just what I'm saying. You know, the economy is not as good as people think it is.
That's horrible.
You know, and I think another thing, we have the people that are unemployed. I like Donald Trump's program where he wants to start this, the apprentice that we have. It takes so many years, shorten it, and get a lot of people who are on welfare and assistance, get them to start getting the training that they need to get into construction industry and so on. Good paying jobs.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to be a contractor, you have to serve like 5 years under another contractor. Shorten that. If you want to be a plumber, don't make it so long, because some people can grasp things quicker than others. So it doesn't take that many years. It protects the industry, but right now we're a shortage of construction workers.
Yeah.
And thank God that we have a little bit of a boom in the industry, and that's creating jobs and everything.
Yeah, you know, some people, you're absolutely right. Some people absorb information really rapidly,
That's
whereas
right.
others are very, very slow to absorb the same information. You give me a construction class, it'll probably take me 30 years to learn how to build something, where it could literally take somebody.
Well, I was an
the same
apprentice.
day.
I was an apprentice plumber when I started after
Yeah.
school at 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I was learning plumbing, and it stuck with me all my life, even though I never became a plumber.
Yeah.
But I used it in my lifetime, and it became very handy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody should really learn to do things with their hands, because you want a serviceman today to come. Oh, it's $100 to come down, or $60 to come down. You know, they're making so much money. I just can't believe it. I called up a guy to come look at my sprinkler system. Oh, it's $100 to come. What? The same way with the pool. Oh, it's $100 to come.
Yeah.
You know, and you say, for what? I want an estimate. You know, whatever. You know, oh no, $100.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get that kind of money. I know. Look at people who are working for $8, $9 an hour. If they get $100, they show up for work.
Oh, did you hear? Speaking of that, did you hear what happened in, I think it was Seattle?
Oh, with the $15.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
It's driving them. Oh, they're in trouble.
Yeah. So what happened was, the socialists came out that businesses should be mandated to pay a $15 minimum wage, and they really pushed this issue. And it sort of happened in the left-leaning cities across the country. And because everybody, it's not a livable wage. Well, they just, unfortunately, and I don't disagree that people need to be making more money and take advantage of opportunities out there to reinvent yourself if necessary with a skill that is a more valuable skill so you can make more money. I think that's awesome. But when the government mandates a $15 an hour minimum wage, what you get is employers either shutting down shop, which is horrible,
or less hours,
or they're going to fire people, which is horrible for the employee, or they're going to reduce the employee's hours, reduce every employee's hours, or they're going to start pulling back all the benefits. Oh, you have health insurance? Can't give it. You paid vacation? Can't give it. So what happens is it normalizes wages. It drives down those wages when you minus out the benefits. And you're going to end up making the same amount you were before. But here's the problem. You have inflation. When you do that, you're going to drive up the service to all the customers going there, the service fee. So if that burger was $8, that burger's now going to be $9, $10, $11. And eventually it's going to be cost prohibitive, and you're going to have automation at those businesses. It's already happened. People are going to start ordering at the table from a little digital device. You know what that means for your tip servers? Your tips go down because you're not providing, instead of a 25% tip that a lot of these patrons give, it becomes not 18, not 15, maybe 8 to 10%. So your wages go down.
To the point of what you're trying to make, they just invented a robot that flips burgers.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a robot would be making your burger from now on, and that kid or the young person who is just getting into the industry to learn to make some extra money is gone. That job's not there.
Yeah.
And the same way with the $15 an hour. You a high school kid who used to work part-time at the
Bingo.
burger
Yep.
place, they're not going to hire that kid anymore for $15 an hour.
Well, you saw when I was consulting Burger King, the Burger King franchises. When I was consulting them on how to automate the front line because they were losing money.
Right.
And the state of New Jersey, or the city of New Jersey, in which some of these franchise owners were located, they were looking at raising the wages. So you know what they did? They joined a government program in the state of New Jersey, in the city, in New York, even though they were in New Jersey, and they brought in people. They brought in people from foreign countries to work in the Burger King with zero pay. Zero pay. They just had to provide housing. And you're allowed to let them sleep on the floor in these places. And you got paid $1,500 per foreigner that you brought in to work in your fast food business. So what happened? Because of the new minimum wage increase, they brought foreigners in. Ladies and gentlemen, the true guest of the hour, Stephen Fromay, counselor. It is so great to see you. I'm happy to see you.
Hello.
It's been a while.
Hello. Buddy.
Yes, I was in court at 8:30.
Yes.
I promised you I'd be here.
You did.
But I had to go in front of what we call Solomon.
So tell us about your experience.
I'm just telling you, just it's wonderful. In a lot of places, they don't have good judges.
Yeah.
But the 19th Judicial District is festooned with Solomon and Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Do they have a sword? Cut that baby in half?
No, well, metaphorically. But this morning, it was wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. The judge understood what was going on. He listened. And then he meted out what I call first-class justice.
That means he won.
Another victory under the belt of
course.
Attorney Stephen Fromay.
Yes, Steve Fromay.
Yeah.
Yes, but I would say that when I heard you gentlemen talking about plumbing, a plumber, years to do this, but here it comes. Hot on the left, and it don't run uphill. You know those two things, you're a plumber.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Right? But electrician's a little different. One time at the packing house, I used to have a packing house here in town. This electrician came over and we were having trouble with our lifting machine that dumps the boxes. We call it the dump. It takes 440. Have you ever seen 440 wire?
Yeah, you know what? I want you to cover this after the break. I hate interrupting you, but we do have advertisers that have to pay for this show.
Oh.
This is Joe Semprevivo with Counselor Stephen Fromay and Larry Semprevivo on the Rhett Palmer Show. We'll be right back after this.
I'm so glad to see you guys.
Great to see you, buddy.
You know, I'm telling you, I was hanging
And you
out.
are on Facebook Live, just to let you know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead. You were saying.
No, I was just saying.
All right, can you stay till 10:30?
Yeah,
until 10:30.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I'll be right back. I gotta go.
Right, but
Yeah, we've been going over a family budget of $100,000 and how they go in debt. They can't live on it.
Larry, do you know what it costs per square foot in Hong Kong?
Oh, no.
You want to know? $1,850 per square foot. And the place you get, when you drive to it, it's like this. In fact, you have to have a special card to get up the incline. Tesla can't do it. So no, Tesla motor, the electric car
electric
can't
car.
get up that incline. You got to have a very powerful car, and they're selling those houses up 721 square feet is the offer, $1,850 a square foot.
Oh my God.
Manhattan is only $1,770. Can you imagine?
Why is
Hong Kong? Well, because Hong Kong,
But they
unlike America, Hong Kong is still a place where if you got an idea, you can go find yourself a spot. By the way, folks, it's this big. It's as small as this. But in that little spot, billionaires have been made.
Yeah.
Because they don't have every Tom, Dick, and Harry bureaucrat standing there with a hammer and a nail trying to decide which part of the board they should hammer.
Well, that's true. The regulation is what kills you so
You
much.
bet.
Too
You
much
bet.
of it. But,
Red tape.
But they also in China they have whole cities that no one lives in.
Well, this is true, and I'll tell you why. Because unfortunately, the Chinese have it's called a bifurcation. When Hong Kong got taken over, what happened was all of the stuff going on in Hong Kong and around the world, the Chinese they might be inscrutable, they might be enigmatic, they might be many things, but I'll tell you what, you give a person from China a little area where you're not going to mess with him, you're not going to bother him or her, and that person will be one of the most productive, enlightening friends you would ever want. They're the best friends you could have.
Well, I met,
and that's why I was hoping Trump and Xi Jinping would get together, because you got Titan and Titan, and when you get two Titans together, they usually respect each other and shake hands.
Yeah.
Titans.
Yeah.
And that's what I see going on.
Well, I met this woman, and her daddy, for her birthday, she's from Hong Kong, and they own the gambling casinos. He gave her $4 billion. $4 billion as a birthday present.
Oh, no problem with that.
$4 billion as a birthday. And
I give my children huge presents.
She was as sweet as can be, down to earth, lovely lady, and she had her husband, which we met. He was Chinese.
Oh, you talking about someone you met?
Yeah.
Oh, this is wonderful.
I know we were at a palace together.
Oh, wow.
When I met her husband, right? And he introduced, and he said, "Hi, matey, how are you?" He was from Australia.
Oh, my
Chinese.
man. Mick Dundee.
And here he is talking Australian.
I
and I was like, I was floored.
Oh, I love it.
I expected them to have a Chinese accent. And there he was. But he was a very nice person. And she had an
Okay, Larry, get ready to talk. Get ready to talk, Larry.
Good morning. Welcome to the Rhett Palmer Show. This is Larry Sempervivo, filling in for my son, Joseph, who is filling in for Rhett Palmer. He'll be right back. He had to run a quick errand. In the studios with me is my friend and wonderful attorney, Steve.
Stephen Fromang.
Yes, and we were just talking about different economies and everything. And Steve was telling us a story before the break. And you want to continue with
I was just saying about, you were talking about the various, apprenticeships and the like,
right,
and how helpful they are. If President Trump can get enough support, big if, Larry, because he's got the mass media, the socialist, freedom-hating, Trump-hating mass media aligned against him. Larry, if it weren't for this show, nowhere in Florida is anybody talking as we're talking. Did you know that?
Well,
we're the only people talking about that.
Well, we're just down to earth American people. We're just saying it like it is.
I think so, and that's what attracts people. But this apprenticeship thing is wonderful.
Oh, I love the idea.
Yes, but keep in mind that America is underneath has had this like this black cloak draped over it of regulation, of law that says, I can tell you what insurance you have to buy.
We don't feel free anymore.
That's the point. And this apprenticeship thing is going to give children who sit in class and listen to some socialist economist standing up there telling him how the government is going to help him here and government's going to help him there. Instead of him sitting there, he goes out, Larry, and learns computer coding. $100,000. Did you know that?
Yeah.
A computer coder person, listen out there, folks. If you code computers and know how to code them, and you are able to write, as they say, write software, your business opportunity is, wouldn't you agree, Joseph, is massive.
Oh yeah,
Oh, of
absolutely.
course. Well, look, technology is a wave of the future.
Wave of the future.
I mean, you know.
And this apprenticeship thing, when I heard you all talking about it, I had to come over here and say, yes, gentlemen, yes. And talking to two of the biggest, greatest entrepreneurs Treasure Coast has ever had the blessing of having in the area, you two talking about this warms my heart.
Well, let me ask. So, we always talk about skill sets, my dad and I, because we have 6 kids, my wife and I. We're always talking about when we talk to parents all over the place that are homeschoolers or kids are in public school or Catholic school. And they're trying to give their kids direction.
Yeah.
What are you better off doing? And I always say, look, learn a skill, learn a trade, because they can never automate that. It would be really difficult to automate that. Whether you go into real estate or insurance sales or plumbing or whatever it is, learn a trade. But what would you say about a child that's interested in going to law? Because I do encounter parents kids that want to go to law school.
Okay, encourage them to read and know geometry. Geometry. When I was 7 years old, I was given a geometry book, and my first cousin Roger worked with me, and by 9 years old, I had geometry down to where I could rattle it off, theorems, let you have it. And I can tell you, children nowadays need to read, and they need to read the things that help them. For instance, you could give them a book on some silliness that's written nowadays. By the way, silliness. But give them a book such as perhaps Herman Melville and Moby Dick. Have them watch that movie with, that Stanley Kubrick and Ray Bradbury wrote many years ago with Gregory Peck, as they have. Mm-hmm. Have them, and that kind of thing, I think.
I like them to read also history.
That's what I'm. Yes,
I think history is so important.
And with Google nowadays,
right? Larry. Where we came from.
Oh yes.
And how we got there.
Yes.
And the sacrifices we made.
Oh whoa.
This is what I want the kids to know,
yes.
Because most of the kids today, they don't even know who was the last president.
Iwo Jima.
Yes.
Go
right.
hit Google and go and type in Iwo Jima and see what the Marines did. You will, your mouth will fall open. You can't believe that men could climb up on a bunch of black sand with machine guns, cutting them in half, and as the first wave gets cut in half, another Marine wave goes in, Larry.
I saw that in different films and saw real action films. It's amazing the courage that these young people had to defend us, and it just irritates me that my brother died to keep us free and to keep the liberties we have, and now it's being abused by the liberals and want to turn us into a socialist country.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a shame. We fought this, and
Larry,
here they are want to turn this. It's the darn Democrats that want to do this stuff.
It's horrible.
The Democrats.
Well,
that's what they are.
Well,
yes,
Democrats. But let me just say this: if you go to any university, I mean any university, and you go to their economics department, or their philosophy department, or their political science department, and they teach Marxism, they teach socialism, and when you raise your hand and say, but Professor, Venezuela is going down the toilet, what do you say? Socialism is just not done right down there. They need to take more ball bats and beat up more congressmen. Did you read that? Yeah. Where they came into the assembly room and beat them up?
Those professors should be fired.
I'm just saying it's horrible.
It's horrible. They should teach what they're hired for.
Exactly.
They should teach the truth.
That's right.
And freedom for this country.
So here's the thing. Yeah, Fidel Castro living in a mansion in Cuba, but yet all the people must live together in a socialistic or communistic country, whatever. But then you now have Damon Wayans, a black actor
In Living Color, dude?
Yeah, which I love that guy.
Oh, are you kidding?
I've always supported his movies.
Homie the Clown, man.
Yeah, Homie Don't Play That.
Yeah.
And Living Color was a TV show. Now he's a huge actor making massive money. Comes out speaking ill of whites on 4th of July.
What?
Yeah, with white people comments. Now, here he is, a racist, anti-white, and gets away with it. It's not plastered all over the media like it should be.
Yeah, I didn't
He's
know
not
that.
banned from movies for life like he should be. You have, if a white did that against a black, they would be fired. Yeah, right. They would be terminated immediately. They'd be removed professionally for life, whatever industry they were in, and they would be done. And now it's forgiven. Another double standard in America. It's okay for one race to speak ill of another, but not for one to. I mean, where is free speech? I'm okay with free speech. If he wants to bash white people, fine. But you know what? White should be able to equally bash him then, and it's not the case. I just am tired of double standards, and I just find it disgusting.
Well,
Yeah,
I
this
think-
is Joe Ciprevivo. We're going to go to a national news break. We will return right after this. And thank you for listening.
We're not working on that anymore.
We're on Facebook. Yeah. You're full-time on Facebook.
Clear. Good job.
Thank you.
If is this the same guy got $80 million for this last movie?
I don't know if
Has he got the little beard?
I think so, yeah. Maybe that's the one you were telling me
what
about.
Was he,
But Joe, I didn't hear this.
What did he say? I don't even know.
Let me say, Damian Wayans quote about white people.
Hey, how about Trump wrestling
I
CNN?
was going to mention it.
Body slam!
I'd say
Body slam!
I'd say all I got to say is Trump is a winner.
You bet.
He knocked out CNN.
Took him down, man.
Bam!
Yeah.
Boy, did they make? Well, they changed that around.
Damian Wayans quote
They said,
about
well,
white people on 4th of July.
He's violence against the news. I would say, wait a minute. How about Shakespeare in the Park?
Yeah.
When they assassinated him, is that violence against the president? How about when they cut his head off? Is that violence against
Oh, but Kathy.
that don't count.
Oh, but Kathy. You know that she said he made her do it. No, really.
Yeah.
She came out and looked right in the camera and said,
that,
I'm the victim here.
Yes.
I was made to do this by Trump. Can you imagine? And then she holds her fist up and says, and you want some of this, little Baron? Come on. And Baron is an 11-year-old blonde-haired kid that doesn't know Shinola from Shoe Shine. And here he is, being challenged by some lady who held his dad's head up.
It backfired on her. The whole thing backfired.
Didn't it, though?
She lost some gigs, and she's hurting.
She'll continue to lose them.
She should.
But a few years from now, unfortunately, people will look back in a nostalgic way and say, "Oh, wasn't she wonderful? Wasn't she brave?" And all of a sudden, here she comes back charging again with all these
like James Fonda was sitting on the machine gun that was shooting the Americans.
Wasn't that horrible?
And we forgave her.
I don't think I ever did.
No, I never did. And she didn't work for a while either.
You bet she didn't. But but hey,
She's
Barbarella, huh? That girl was really a Barbarella, first class. But
so here's what he said on Twitter. He said, Damon Wayans Jr.'s Independence Day message seems to have set off some fireworks online. Happy white people proud of their racist ancestors' day. The 34-year-old actor tweeted out on 4th of July. Unsurprisingly, backlash over the controversial tweet ensured almost immediately. You should be thankful too. We all hit lottery when born in U.S. Where else on planet would you be better off? Unbelievable. you just live in the best country in the world.
Yeah.
You should thank God that you live in America.
Yeah, God bless America.
Wayans Jr. took to Twitter again that day to defend himself, saying, "Jokes aren't illegal."
That was no
Another
joke.
example of Hollywood talking down to Americans. They hate this country and their fans.
Could I see a picture of that guy? I want to, so I know who I gotta hate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, his idea is that when he walks by you,
I can't.
you're not an American. You're whitey. That's the problem.
Yeah.
See, he'll never
That's
be
not
an
right.
American.
That's not right. Everybody falls or breaks upon their abilities. You know, and you know, you walk around and be some kind of jerk. I mean, Larry, in business, you run into jerks all the time.
Absolutely.
You know, but you learn to deal with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when some guy comes in and sticks his finger in you and says, "Whitey," that's not right.
He's got such a great living.
Yeah.
He's getting it from the people who support him.
Right.
And there he is. He want to put his finger in your eye.
I don't understand it.
Well, you know they get like this.
Highfalutin.
That's
Yeah,
what happens. They're
Yeah.
beyond anything. They can do anything because they believe that now. Because the guy puts their makeup on, who shines his shoes.
Oh yeah.
They just sit there.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
god. And
Well,
that's
yeah.
what happens.
That's
Then
right.
when they lose a job, they're like, let's go to drugs.
Well,
You know
nothing
what I
wrong
mean?
with the drugs, but the job loss, I'm sort of interested. but to get back to the thing that I was talking about, this apprenticeship that you all brought up is such a wondrous thing, Larry. And I had to come over here and compliment you and say thank you for doing that, because not enough
people know
entrepreneurs, not enough. I'm talking what I call big hitter. See, to me, you're a big hitter. I just wanted to let you know that.
Oh wow.
Well, I think you are.
Well, that's
And
sweet.
I'm just saying. But when you are saying it, while it would come from somebody, let's say what Damon Williams, no one's going to listen to that. But if you're talking about it, people immediately take notice. Larry Sempervivo, the man who could throw it in the air and down comes money. Yes, that's the man. I freeze in your shadow is how I usually say it. I really do. And as some people say, the appurtenances of welcome.
That's it.
Band and parade. And every time we've met, hasn't it? I've always felt your warmth and your love, and I try to reciprocate.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do. We do like people.
I knew.
And we're not above anyone.
Well, there's no reason to be.
No.
Believe me when I tell you that.
I think some who have some wealth become snobs.
Oh.
And that is horrible.
Have you met them? I've met them.
Of course I have.
But after their name and their account number, what is left? Well, much if you want to talk about what they're interested in. But they will never listen to what you're interested in.
I've had.
You see what I'm saying?
I met people with old money,
Oh.
and they say to you point blank, "Well, you know, you have new money."
Right. Yes.
But so it's like, we're old money.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like-
There's a difference.
They're like, hey,
No, there's a
what
difference.
the hell's the difference?
The difference is that you are the embodiment of what their ancestors were, and they're envious of you. That's what they're trying to
Well,
say.
these people inherit it. They didn't
Well-
get out and work it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they're envious of what you did that they can't do. And
And a
even
lot
if
of
they
it
try to do it, it's easy to lose money, Larry. Stupidity is expensive. It really is.
Oh yeah.
And ignorance
Stand by in the
is its
studio.
conjoined
This is the
twin.
last break and then the open.
What was it got? It doesn't say.
Well, one time, someone turned to me and we're talking, and I said, "Well, you know, liberty neither needs compliment nor commentary. The word alone says it all.
True.
Liberty. You don't have to compliment it. You don't have to add to it. You don't have to. It doesn't require commentary. It doesn't require anything. Just the word.
Strong word.
It's the big word. It's the one that Jesus was trying to explain to these concrete-minded pedants. Huh? That's who got him, you know.
You know, I just don't.
Here we go.
What? Oh.
Great morning, Vero Beach. We're back. We're back for debate. And in studio today, we have Counselor Stephen Frome.
Yes.
Attorney and court winner.
Yes.
Case winner.
Yes.
Constantly. He's got trophies filled
Yes.
in his home, which, by the way, I have been to his home.
Do you notice that big S on his chest?
Yeah, Superman.
Super lawyer.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then also co-host today, we have Happy Pappy, my mentor, my best friend, my Happy Pappy,
Good
Larry
morning, son.
Semprevivo.
Good morning.
Good morning,
So-
Larry.
Yeah,
All right.
we were talking about this Damon Wayans Jr. with this tweet about, and I have to read it because I looked it up. He tweeted on 4th of July, "Happy white people, proud of their racist ancestors' day," in quotations. That's what the 34-year-old actor tweeted out on July 4th. And then people started saying, hey, you should be thankful too. We all hit the lottery when born in the United States. Where else on the planet would you be better off? And another person wrote, unbelievable. You just live in the best country in the world. You should thank God that you live in America.
Yeah.
That wasn't good enough. So he had a tweet. He tweeted back to them, jokes aren't illegal.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's it. I mean, what
joke.
what an insult to all of us, knowing that we all live in this wonderful, beautiful, free nation, and we should be thankful to our founders every single day, who, by the way, escaped King George because of he was a slave believer. He confiscated assets. People hung them if they disagreed. With, if it wasn't for our founders, we would not be living in a free nation today.
You know what bothers me? If they're so unhappy with the American people, why don't they go back where they come from?
Well, they come from America.
Yeah.
And
he's born in America.
But
Yeah,
here's the point. Here's the point I think you're making, Joe. The larger point is this: that the founding fathers gave us a way to get rid of this nanny state that is crushing us everywhere. And Joe, you know, you've given the vignette many times about how these USDA guys come in and mess with you, and you think you're being messed with. Go anywhere in the United States, Joe. They're doing it to everybody, and it's time. And the founding fathers gave us, Larry, a way with our vote and with this little island.
I'm just talking about one direction racism, blacks hating whites, when this black actor hating a white.
Well,
I know that's not typical of race relations across the country. I know it got worse after Obama.
Yeah.
But now these people have a podium in which to speak.
Yes.
Because they have the backing of the former United States president to hate whites.
Yes.
And here he's coming out and saying, you white people. Well, gosh, it's horrible.
Yes.
I mean, white people celebrating racism.
How could be such racism? Look at the opportunity. He's a multimillionaire.
Oh, maybe more.
If we were so racist, how did he get there? Look, we had a black president. What in the world are they talking about now?
Yeah, black senators, black congressmen.
That stuff is gone.
One of the wealthiest entertainers on a TV talk show host, Oprah Winfrey.
Oh,
I mean, it goes. The wealthiest of the wealthiest today are minority, and it's not all white. And you look at the entertainment industry. This is why I love this. Whether it's $15 an hour minimum wage. Pitched by individuals that take poorer out of poverty, which all it does is create poverty because the employers have to lay off people and benefits and hours for the hardworking people in America.
It becomes institutionalized.
Yeah,
That's
and then
the problem.
you have that. You have, oh, the wealthy CEOs have to have pay cuts, but you don't hear anything about the wealthy actors making by far a lot more money than the wealthy CEOs. It's on a percentage basis. It's the same. Whether you have a celebrity in Hollywood making $40 million on a percentage basis, you have a CEO making $40 million in the United States. It's the same on a percentage basis, but you don't hear any of them coming out attacking the salaries in Hollywood. No. You hear these leftists talk about anti-gun, but you don't hear the actors talk about anti-gun when it comes to the very movies that they're in and they're promoting firearm use. You don't hear them attacking firearms when it comes to their movie. Liam Neeson is the prime example in this discussion. He went anti-gun on Facebook and on Twitter, and then he went out and did a movie, Taken 1, Taken 2, Taken 3. The man with the suitcase with firearms, by the way, illegally possessed in foreign countries, but he didn't go into any of that.
Yeah.
He was a former CIA or State Department employee.
Honcho.
Yeah. So you have these double standards, and now you have a guy on his Twitter podium microphone speaking anti-white, and it just makes me sick to my stomach because he shouldn't be looking at that. What he should be looking at is his brethren, his brothers and sisters, regardless of color, were across this country, standing as
We're
one.
Americans.
Yeah. Now, if you disagree with a person, you take it not based on race, religion, creed, color, any of that. You take it based on their views and their opinion. You want to hate me? Great. Hate me on my political views. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Don't hate me because I'm fat. Don't hate me because of my religion, because I'm Catholic, or don't hate me with my moral beliefs. You know, and that's and that should be on an individual basis, not a racial basis.
It really is insulting, really, to hear someone speak like that.
Well,
after this country has been so good to all of us, and then you down the country. Well, you down the freedoms that we have. I mean, I'm not racist. I don't. If I was a white person saying that about black people,
you were good.
They'd be rioting in the street. They'd be looting and burning.
Larry, your house would be burned down.
Oh my God,
burned down. But you know, Jesus probably faced the same thing. The Samaritans weren't like these people weren't like the Hittites weren't like, but he said, you know, you ought to treat everybody the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know, live and let live. Don't stick your nose in someone else's business. You know, just, you know, why?
Well, no person living today has ever been white or black because, you know, whites were slaves just like blacks.
Oh, yeah.
So were Hispanics, so were Italians. Every race has been a slave at one point. You had indentured slaves that were white, serving the royalty that came over the United States, and to pay off for their citizenship, they had to work. And
big time.
So you had all races that have been slaves. But you know what? Who cares?
Yes.
It was 150 plus years ago. Forget about it.
Liberty.
Move on, and let's be together as one nation.
Free nation.
Bingo. That is the only way we conquer this evil is by being united. This is what everyone wants. Leaders of foreign powers, of countries, bad countries that want to see America collapse, they want racial segregation.
Oh, yes.
They got it in 2008 with a president who did not help racial relations at all. He took us back 30 years. And it wasn't whites to blacks. It was blacks to whites, hating whites, based on the Black Lives Matter and the staging, the storming of the stages. And no white got arrested in New York. I mean, a white got arrested in New York when they ran the stage when they were trying to do this whole play with killing of Donald Trump.
You know, I will say this. The one thing, I don't care where you go and how divided people are in any different number of ways.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in there and you say, folks, I stand for liberty, freedom. Who joins me in that? They will all raise their hand.
Yep.
But as soon as you say, now wait a minute, now Bob, you look like a good producer, so we're going to grab some of your stuff. And Tommy, you look like you need something. Here. But Tommy, remember who gave it to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. Go ahead.
Well, what I want to say is
20
we ought
seconds.
we ought to unite together because
Yes.
we have terrorists coming to this country
Yep.
that want to destroy us.
Absolutely.
And we should be sticking together and fighting
As
against-
Americans.
As Americans.
Yes, absolutely.
All I gotta say is
Well,
God
this
bless
is
America.
this is exciting. My hair is raised up. This is Joe Sempre Vivo. We'll be right back after this break. Okay.
I was back in 2015 when you mentioned that you were a tweeter guy, a tweet,
Yeah.
and that you were interested in tweet. I started paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But when Trump takes tweet and it does boom boom,
Yeah.
anytime he wants to, let me tell you something. Not only am I leaving my Viva Trump sign up, but I'm putting another sign on the other part of the yard.
Hello.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Hello.
They're so against this poor man.
Yeah, this is he.
Anybody that stands up and says,
Oh,
"That's
okay,
not-
Bigsby. I'll check it out right now.
That's not right."
Okay.
That person is one to be supported, but two, to those that he's trying to stop, feared. And that's the point.
Well, he's going to do something with this Korea.
Oh, man. Hey, let me tell you something. Those boys
They're
could hit
messing with the wrong
no.
guy.
Well, they can hit no. Now, of course, be about 6 weeks before we hear about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not Manhattan. But what the hell? You know, North Korea, what does he know? America is America. If he can take out Anchorage, could you imagine in every history book for 1,000 years, they will mention his name as some kind of, well, in North Korea, he'll be a god.
Yeah.
But around here, he'll be the worst name by Benedict Arnold, then Hu Gung Boom Gung, where his name is.
Yeah.
But this president will nuke his, not nuke him, but he'll knock out that missile site.
Oh, yeah.
He'll knock it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But you know what? I just heard that China and Russia are not for this missile thing. They are against it.
You mean they don't want them
They don't
to-
want this guy starting trouble.
Who?
Right.
Trump?
Yeah, no.
No, they're against Trump on this.
No, they're
stance?
against they're
No.
against this little fat guy that's running that country.
Right. The Chinese.
They're cool at the tone.
Yeah. The Chinese are historians. Ours, what, 200 years? The Chinese can remember back 5,000 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Right? Right,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so they remember a time when these little ape-looking things on horses that could shoot 30 arrows a minute, riding at 30 miles an hour on these little squatty horses,
That's right.
came sweeping through China. Right? Genghis
Yeah.
Khan. So these guys understand that this little fathead of ours, if he gets a mind to shoot a missile,
Yeah,
you're not going to stop him. He will do it.
he will do it.
Yeah.
He will do it.
Because you know what it is? Our last president was so weak that he destroyed the image of the United States through every
Oh, it's
country.
horrible. Oh,
They
horrible.
don't respect
No.
us. They're not. You know how they respect? They respect fear.
Yeah.
If they're
No.
afraid of you, they respect you.
Let me tell you. what-
Really true.
The
What-
mafia,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
afraid of him. They respect him.
You bet. But let me give you an idea of this sort of respect and what clued me into this guy. He had one of his buddies. He decided it wasn't his buddy anymore, so he held him up on a board, tattooed to a board, and blew him apart with a 30
Stand by in the
millimeter
studio. This is the
cannon.
last spot, and then your short rejoin.
Did you know that? A 30 millimeter cannon. Instead of just going on shooting the guy, blew him apart with a 30.
We have about 5 seconds, about a minute or two on, so just think about what you guys want to say at parting. Great morning, Vero Beach. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is Joe Sempre Vivo filling in for the mayor of the airwaves,
Yes.
Rhett Palmer. He'll be back with us shortly to start, sharing his interviews and his stories
Yes.
of his long journey. In the studio today, we have our co-host, Mr. Lawrence Sempre Vivo, Happy Pappy,
Good morning, Joseph.
and
Yes, Stephen Fromang.
Stephen
And-
Fromme, the attorney. Let me introduce
Yes.
you at least.
Oh, please.
Yeah. The dedicated, focused attorney that puts liberties first,
Yes.
freedoms first, his clients first,
Yes.
and victory
Yes.
first.
Yes.
Mr. Stephen Frome.
Yes, thank you. And I will say this, that I am so excited about Rhett getting back. He is meeting with the Dalai Lama. You know that. Did you guys know that? He's also, he's meeting with Macron, the new French president. And he's also having tea and crumpets with Merkel, the German Frau. Whoa.
There goes a rumor mill. Facebook is exploding. Twitter's exploding.
Well, I'm just telling you, the Dalai Lama and the president of China said, Rhett, don't do it. But you think Rhett would listen to that? No.
So, parting thoughts, because we only have a short period of time before we go back to commercial and the end of the program for today. So, what anything that you want to bring up specifically that you thought maybe? I know Bixby contacted me and said, "Look at America. We're the only ones that ended slavery in a 3,000-year period," and that was because of our, really starting from the messaging of our founders all the way through to Lincoln. But
life, liberty.
I think most of these people in America should take a moment and count their blessings.
You bet.
I mean, we are so fortunate. We have ample amount of food to eat.
The psalmist David said, "Rejoice in this day, the Lord hath made."
Yeah.
Every day when I wake up, I go outside, throw my hands to the universe, and say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Thank you for giving me another day.
Here.
Yes, thank you for living. After my dad got in a car accident, I mean, it was just, he's always been a super healthy, physical man. I mean, there's people that we've worked with in the past that, prime example, a 30-something-year-old was working with me on my campaign, went out and worked after the campaign with my dad. It only lasted 2 hours with my dad, 2 or 3 hours. He said, "How does he work like that?"
Yeah,
and now he got in an accident. No, I have seen it.
It's killing me that I can't do it.
No, it's life
killing
changing.
me.
It's life changing.
But
of course, we're going to take care of that.
Yeah. Like I said, I gained over 20 pounds because I'm in activity now. And this is not good for your health.
You used to pick up stuff like nothing. I mean, the kids would just be in awe. So would I, always, constantly.
Well, all I know is that the Italian American Club, if it weren't for Larry Sempervivo, was going down the tubes. And he went in and showed them how to make pizza, how to make spaghetti sauce, how not to burn the bread. I mean, my God, Larry.
But I think I think they've abandoned, just so my dad's food is exceptional. They've abandoned a lot of those recipes.
They went back to the old way.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
No.
But none of that's my dad's anymore.
No.
But I don't know if they kept one recipe. They might have.
I doubt it.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's such a shame.
Well, I did the charity work for a month.
Well, I will say this. The pita, the Michelangelo thing? Some guy went in with a hammer and went to beating all over it, right? So that's what they did to your pita.
So, I think the parting thing is we talked earlier today about how to save some money, whether it's through mortgage, credit card, debt, batteries. We touched on a lot of your... taking a car auto safety class. There's a lot of different things you can do to help save money.
Well, next week, I think we'll bring up some health tips.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think that's we're going to have a little segment on health.
I got to say this one thing. There was a person I was just talking to that's a quadriplegic, and I want to bring up this. Myomo is an orthopodic, placement. I don't know the problem.
Mimo.
Yeah, Mimo. Yeah, Mimo. And they put it on the outside of the skin.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Have you heard about this?
Yes. And they're also going, let me tell you, just an update on that. As of just 2 weeks ago, they broke through. There was a nanotechnology problem they were having interfacing with the, when your brain, believe it or not, is an electrical system. Believe it or not. Yeah. It is true electrical. Yeah. It's chemical, but electrical. Yeah. They found a way to connect it in such a way that the little nano guys are able I'm telling you, you will not know the difference between a real hand and a false hand.
Yeah, so
no way. Star Wars stuff.
So these individuals that have no use of their arms, that are using, they have to have full nurse care in their home. Instead, it goes on the outside of their arms.
Correct.
It reads the nerve signals, even
Bingo.
though you can't lift your arms. And if the person's thinking about grabbing a cup of water to take a drink, they don't need the nurse to stand there to give them the water.
Right.
And it automatically reaches out, grabs the cup. So people with muscular dystrophy, people with ALS, can now have these orthopodic systems, and it's for sale now. It's already passed through the FDA.
Yes.
And I saw that they went public, I think, like a couple weeks ago or something like that. But I saw this system and I went, oh my gosh!
It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like the old cell phone. Remember the old cell phone?
Yeah.
You need a wheelbarrow for it. I'm telling you, it's Star Wars stuff. That's how close we are.
What a help that'll be for the veterans.
Oh my! Yeah,
poor
they're
guys.
using it for individuals with strokes, with vets that are coming back. And right now they have the arm. I think they have the legs, but the arm system is what is really is what they're focusing on, I guess.
Because the articulation aspect.
Yeah, exactly. And they're using it with vets, stroke victims, ALS. They said for the first time, ALS individuals can live without someone standing over them, brushing their teeth, giving them water, and feeding them. They can do that on their own. And it's just from a limb that had zero use can now have use.
Yeah.
So it's improving their quality of life.
Oh.
And that is huge. You know what that does mentally? And I looked at that. I said, is this company, for real? So I went and looked them up, MYO. And I know Ryan Bass from Raymond James is listening. You got to check that out and give me a buzz and tell me what you think of that stock, Ryan. And
Schwab too.
Yeah,
old Schwab down there.
Down there.
He'll call in there immediately. In fact, I'm surprised he ain't ringing.
Yeah, I just got a text. I just got a text from Ryan Bass. So that's why I was saying for Ryan to listen. Well, anyway, we really enjoyed these 2.5 hours with you today. Stay healthy, stay free. This is Joe Semprevivo with Larry Semprevivo and Happy Pappy.
Happy Pappy says, "Love thy neighbor."
Yes, and attorney, a counselor, Richard Fromay.
Yes, Stephen Fromay. No, Bob, Tom, and Larry.
Yes, Stephen Fromay.
Hello and goodbye.
And this is Joseph Semprevivo filling in for the mayor of the airwaves, who will be back tomorrow. Bring all the great, rich stories.
Yeah.
And anyway, stay free. This is Joseph Semprevivo, over and out.
Boy,
I was amazed with that company. I was just absolutely so excited to see that kind of technology and the freedom that it gave to people.
The big one. This is the one we're doing. That's what I'm looking at. So we're anything we can get, all we can get of that. 10 cent.
Is that the ticker?
No, 10 cent holdings, man. That's Jack Ma's crew. You know, Nate Dado. Oh shit.
Oh, data storage?
No. Dado is their Uber. Their Uber contingent. It's called 10 Cent Holdings. 10 and then CENT. It's one word. Just
10 cent. Okay,
right.
gotcha.
Like this.
You got an ADR, and then you have an ADR. Is it international or domestic?
I think I don't know.
Is it $34.40?
Yes. That's it. 10 cent, man. That one right there.
Oh, it's low volume. 25,000 shares traded.
Yeah.
It's a $332 billion company.
Yeah. 10 cent, man. It depends on if we go to war with Korea. If we can stay out of a shooting war with those boys, maybe we can do something. But that's what everybody's waiting for right now. See if we're in a shooting war.
Yeah.
Because the whole South Pacific area will go bonkers.
You should check out that other one. Yeah.
Anyway,
it was awful.
Mr. Crane, thank you. Well, appreciate it. Well,
See you, my friend.
Mr. Joseph, good job. Couple weeks here.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you'll be back next week.
Yes, I will not. Actually,
You will not?
no.
Okay.
I'm teaching. I'm a professor.
How about your dad? Will he come in?
I'm a professor at Indiana River State
yeah.
College, so I'll be going for 2 weeks. I'll be teaching there.
Okay,
I
so-
don't know if you know.
Have your dad will come in with him. Okay? That way he's got something. And Mr. Fromay, Steve, come in next week as soon as you can with Rhett, if you want to. Okay? And Larry, you also. He's going to be teaching, so come on in next Thursday. Okay?
I'm teaching next Wednesday, Thursday. I'm teaching